Heat, heat, heat. It began before sunrise on the 1st of August 2025. Beijing awoke not to birdsong, but to the piercing clang of emergency sirens. A sound that would not stop for the next 4 days. For many, it was the sound of fear made real, the echo that would follow them long after the rain stopped. In the capital's narrow alleys and in mountain villages miles away, a single message thundered on repeat: evacuate now, or face total inundation. From the bustling heart of the city to the mist-shrouded highlands of Mentugu, Fangshan, Huairu, Changping, and Miyun, the warning rolled like a drumbeat before the storm's full fury struck. But soon, warning gave way to chaos. By midday on August 2nd, Beijing's rivers were no longer rivers. They were living monsters, swollen and raging, snapping bridges like brittle twigs. Ancient stone spans, steel giants, even newly built overpasses, all surrendered to the flood in seconds. Chunks of concrete and twisted metal plunged into swirling brown depths, vanishing as if the city itself were being erased. In the highland villages, whole neighborhoods perched on slopes vanished as if erased from memory. One moment, a row of homes stood proud above the valley. The next, they were nothing but splinters in the current. Flash floods, thick with mud, carved through streets like blades, peeling away asphalt as if it were wet paper. The road out, gone. Landslides triggered by rain-soaked slopes obliterated the narrow ribbons of tarmac connecting rural hamlets to the city. Convoys of cars and trucks were caught mid-escape. Some submerged, others flipped, others crushed beneath collapsing hillsides. Images from Mentugu and Miyun were almost too surreal to believe. Buses half submerged in swirling currents, cars stacked like children's toys in grotesque heaps, their headlights flickering underwater, like a city gasping for breath. By August 3rd, the toll was staggering. 242 bridges destroyed, over 24,000 homes gone, and more than 80,000 people displaced. A mass evacuation on a scale not seen in years, as torrents uprooted both the city and its highland villages. From crowded urban districts to remote hilltop settlements, families fled, some on buses, others in farm trucks, many on foot. Streets turned into escape routes, choked with headlights cutting through the storm's gray curtain. The air was thick with the sound of rushing water and the unspoken question: will there be anything left to come back to? Where do tens of thousands of people go? Stadiums, schools, municipal halls, all emptied of their normal life, became shelters. On gym floors and in classroom corridors, mats and blankets lined the walls. The smell of wet clothes, the hum of portable generators, and the murmur of worried voices filled the air. Officials say this rapid relocation helped limit casualties. But for those who made it out, the scars aren't just physical. The loss of homes, of roads, of the familiar landscape is immeasurable. The storm's anatomy is as much about geography as it is about rain. Beijing's mountain districts form a natural catchment, trapping water. Every drop that fell on those high ridges raced down into narrow gorges and stream beds, building unstoppable torrents. By the time the water reached the valleys, it carried entire trees, rocks the size of trucks, and the debris of shattered villages. In the hills, torrents carved new channels where none existed. Foundations that had stood for decades crumbled in seconds. Rescue teams spoke of hearing the roar of water long before they saw it, like an oncoming freight train in the dark. And then silence. Not the peaceful kind, the ominous silence of isolation. In many remote zones, electricity was gone. Phone lines, dead. Roads, erased. The only way in or out was by air or on foot. Helicopters ferried supplies, plucking the stranded from rooftops. Volunteers, their boots sinking ankle-deep in mud, carried the elderly through knee-high water. But the storm wasn't finished. On August 4th, meteorologists warned that the system was holding steady and might dump even more rain over the second half of the week. For already saturated slopes, that could mean fresh landslides. For weakened bridges and embankments, it could mean collapse. Authorities prepared for the possibility of new evacuations, especially in Mentugu, Fangshan, Changping, and Huairu. In some places, residents who had just escaped were told they might have to move again, facing the unthinkable twice in 1 week. What began as the metallic scream of warning bells has become a full-scale hydrological siege. The city's outer districts now look like war zones. Bridges gone, roads gutted, vehicles drowned and twisted beyond recognition. Rivers now swollen into inland seas, lap at the edges of neighborhoods that were dry land just days ago. The numbers 80,000 displaced, thousands of structures lost, only scratch the surface. The real measure of this disaster lies in the faces of those standing in the rain, eyes fixed on the horizon, watching the place they called home disappear under the flood. And as I speak, Beijing teeters on the brink of survival and a deeper catastrophe. The rain has not stopped. The rivers have not calmed. And the highlands, those beautiful, treacherous highlands, still funnel water toward the city with unstoppable force. This is not just a storm. It is a test of infrastructure, of emergency response, and human resilience. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If this report gave you insight into something the headlines overlook, don't scroll past. Subscribe for more in-depth stories that connect the dots between disaster and decision. Hit like to help more people see what's unfolding. And tell us what you think, because your voice might be part of the solution we're all waiting for. Stay aware, stay connected, and stay hopeful, even when the rain keeps falling.